welcome viewers. Dr. JWAU, otherwise known as PROBRICKIE. The bricklayer's relationships and the way you started listening differently. Most tradies think listening means staying quiet long enough to respond. Real listening feels different because the other person consents when the conversation is still revolving around your defense instead of their experience. Now, because the other person, the missus, the girlfriend, or whoever it might be, consents when the conversation is still evolving around your defense instead of their experience, at first, many tradies listen while internally preparing explanations, corrections, counterpoints, reason they were misunderstood. And the atmosphere feels it immediately. The conversation technically continues, but emotional safety never fully arrives because nobody feels deeply heard inside environments where vulnerability is constantly being redirected back into argument, self-protection, or control. And that pressure changes slowly once the man stops listening to defend himself and starts listening to understand what the relationship has actually been carrying. The pauses become softer. The introduction and interruptions reduce, the room stops feeling emotionally combative, and gradually she'll start risking honesty again. Not because every wound has healed, but because the relationship no longer feels governed by emotional survival. Now, a bricklayer understands this instinctively. You cannot repair structural weakness properly while refusing to examine where the pressure keeps transferring. And viewers, relationships work the same way. Sometimes the breakthrough is not speaking louder, proving your point, or winning the disagreement. Sometimes the breakthrough is finally hearing the emotional weight another person has been carrying around your behaviour for years. And that changes a man, because once listening becomes sincere, defensiveness starts losing control of the atmosphere, and eventually something unfamiliar begins returning to the relationship. And that is understanding without war. The tension lowers, the reactions slow, the conversation stops feeling like emotional risk. Not perfectly, but safely enough for healing to keep moving forward. Because reconciliation often begins the moment someone finally feels heard without punishment, feeling or following behind the honesty. One conversation at a time, one softened reaction at a time, one truthful moment at a time. And some tradies spend years demanding to be understood before finally becoming calm enough to understand someone else first. I'm PROBRICKIE, and I'll see you in the next talk. Bye for now.